So we've had the big Jump Fest reveal streams, right, for Duel Links, Master Duel, the TCG, Rush Duel, OCG, and some got more reveals than others, right? And for Duel Links in particular, it was a fairly big weekend because we've got a 9th anniversary campaign coming, featuring DRAGOON as a playable, obtainable promo card, which is really, really big. Now, this of course is like the poster child of the scary OCG boss monsters, right, that people kind of are fearful of coming to Duel Links, they're ruining the game, but I don't think it'll be that bad. Now, of course, I'm a big Dimension fan, this is right up my alley, and so getting a skill for this hopefully would be pretty cool. I have to see what they do, but overall, very, very exciting. Also for Rush Duel, we are getting a promo for Dragon Rush Rare, which, you know, looks better, I believe, than the original artwork, which is cool. And also, Dimension Linker, a brand new exclusive card for 2 months, I believe. It's going to become a promo over there in Japan for the IRL card game, and this is an exclusive card that is based around Duel Links, right? It's got the Duel Links game in the background. They talk about, you know, traveling through the 9 dimensions, right? Of course, meaning DM World, DSD World, GX, 5D, Zexal, 7s, Arc 5, Go Rush, what have you. A new card celebrating 9 years of Duel Links, and it's a bit weird it's not coming for the OCG, but for Rush Duel. But I think that's pretty cool. Now, what else did we get? We're getting Dream Tickets, also a brand new, seemingly alt style for Joey, based off Battle Scene. Of course, if you think, you know, Dragoon is coming, the anniversary seems Red Eyes themed, it all does kind of align to get that at that point in time. Now, hopefully, he'll be more like Yugen Kaiba in terms of actually being decent, you know, having good cards to the gate, having a good skill, and given this anniversary, I would kind of expect that to be the case. Now, we also have a Speed Duel, got a brand new main box coming on New Year's Day called Zodiac Destiny. Now, this box is both exciting and kind of worrying. You can look at this box and think, okay, the game is becoming more Master Duel-like. Like, if you look at the box here, you think Branded, Drytrons, Trap Tricks, they all around in that first year of Master Duel, and that can kind of sum up that first 6 months of the game. And so, things could be getting pretty spicy for Duel Links. Now, of course for me, Dark Magician is like my favourite deck in the game, and so getting the Dragon Knight is really, really big. Becomes the on the field and graveyard, protects your back row, Eternal Soul protects your front row, kind of creates some locking situations, and so we'll see how well this card does. I assume, of course, cover card, it's going to be UR. We've also got Tamiya's Night Dragon. Now, this should be super rare, based on Duel Links China, getting a super rare. If it's ultra, then we're kind of cooked because this, in some ways, is a starter card, right? Set a card, special this, do your skill shenanigans, connect to Dark Magician, go into your Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, or even go into Realize Dark Dragoon, because you can do with your Tamias, because it does fulfill the requirements if you've got Dark Magician. Then the big scary one, I think, at least going forward, is Branded Fusion. Now, at the moment, we haven't really got the extra cards to make this be that scary. The floodgates have kind of now opened for modern Branded to kind of be a thing in Duel Links, which is both cool and, again, kind of scary, but we'll see how things kind of turn out. Trap Tricks, of course, is a very fan-favorite deck type, and this will probably be as annoying in Duel Links as it was in Master Duel. As good? We'll have to wait and see. Similarly, Drytron as well, it's all going to kind of come down to the skills they get, right? Are the skills going to be any good? Will they be getting most of their support wave? I think Drytron has multiple waves of support, so I don't think we'll get everything. Similarly for Trap Tricks, probably not everything as well. Zodiac is the weird one because, again, depending on the format, right, the deck doesn't really exist right now. So if you can look back in the day and say, you know, Rage of Temper Zodiac was really broken, but nowadays it's just not very good. Of course, there are some cards on the ban list, and some cards that can only ever be a one copy, and so we'll see how Duel Links kind of gets around that. Maybe they make Zodiac really good and be super playable in this format, or maybe it just kind of comes out and it isn't that great. Now, the one other thing with a big new main box coming New Year's Day is the selection box. Now, if you remember last year, I believe it was last year, right, we got Stolz, right? And then in the selection box, a week later, was more core Stoll cards, meaning if you were baited into that box, you went into it and going, you know what, I'm playing Stoll, you're then kind of forced to go into that box as well to go and get more copies of cards you needed. And so I could easily see them putting, you know, some Zodiac stuff or branded stuff in the selection box to make you then spend more money and feel like you have to. And so maybe it's worth waiting on that selection box, seeing what happens with it, and then making your decision from there. Of course, we are still missing a structure check for Speed Duel, which we kind of expect, right? It would shock me if it wasn't Red Eyes themed. Now, the one thing with Duel Links nowadays, right, if we go to, real quick, we go to that Dark Magician structure that we got, this contained a bunch of free cards, right? As well as reprints of old cards. Now, if you go and look up, say, Red Eyes, right, there's a bunch of free cards we could get, Insight or Spirit now, The one thing is that I believe new players to Duel Links get a free Red Ice deck anyway, and so it might kind of clash with that. I believe it's Red Ice you get for free, at least like a version of it when you start the game up for the first time. So I would imagine it's gonna reprint Red Ice Fusion. It will probably have, you know, I'd imagine Darkness Metal could also slide in as well. It is a year old, but also this is an anniversary box, so maybe they'll, you know, rerun an anniversary box at some point, and you go for the ult art for there, so maybe they'll want to do that. We'll have to kind of wait and see what happens overall for Speed Duel. Now, for Rush Duel, we're getting another brand new box on January 5th. Now, this is a bit less exciting, right? We're also getting Red Ice stuff, which is pretty cool in Black Skull Dragon, but as you can see, it's a deck build. And if you are an avid Rush player, you'll know this basically means we're getting 6 brand new cards, and that's kind of it for the format for the month, potentially. And it's never really that fun to get 6 brand new cards and have to spend 8,000 gems potentially to get all of them. Or maybe more. I can't remember how much it is for a Rush Duel box. Of course, we're going to be getting the Overrush Rare versions of the Burst Wingman and the Cyber Rush Dragon, which is cool for those players, right? Reprinting Cyber Dragon cards as well, probably makes sense. Hero cards makes sense, right? We might get Ult Art for Circulation, I believe that one exists in the OCG. That could also happen as well. But in terms of new cards, they're actually all really good, aside from Black Skull Dragon. Of course, it's a DM card, right? Summon Skull Red Eyes. The issue is you can't really summon this right now, so we are going to need some cards that do change names, so things like maybe the Red Ice Moon Dragon, or for Summon Skull, you've got one of these two, right? Your Archfiend Armageddon, or Archfiend's Confusion. One of these two probably will come alongside this box and be the name changer for the deck. The issue is I don't think a deck would be that good if this is our only boss, right? Vanilla Black Skull is cool, but doesn't really do that much. Now, what we'd like to see is Black Dragon Skull Archfiend. Gains 500, pops your opponent's cards. This would be really, really strong and a really big boss to go into that would, you know, kind of sum up Konami's version of Rush Duel and Duel Links, right? Being potentially a big OTK machine if you can pull this off plus another body, right? This would be really, really good. A lot better than just pure Black Skull Dragon. Also, we could see Meteor Black Dragon, but doesn't seem to really fit with the Black Skull Dragon theme, especially given we're getting 6 cards potentially this box, and so 2 cards probably are going to be for the Red Eyes stuff, right? Maybe a name changer. And then you've also got to support things like Pure Glass. Now, this was really, really good back in the OCG. I believe with Dragis kind of pile decks, right? You can summon this out, change battle position, give monster control 1000, and deal piercing damage. If you can get onto this card and make it change position back, then that's 3500 with piercing damage can be really, really big. The issue, I guess, of Rush Duel is we have actually got a C7 support card, right? Yeah, Grand Extreme, which is really, really good, right, for cheating this card out. So in defense mode, put it to attack mode, gain the piercing, gain the 1000. But it's limit 1. And so do you really want to play this card over Pot of Greed or Compulsory? You probably won't do. But again, it depends on if there's any more support for this. If there's a skill support in this, that'd be great. If there's not, then who knows how good it's really going to be. But it's a really good card. Now, one card I think is going to do really well in Duel Links Rush overall is Legend Magician. This card on release was fine when it first came out, right? Excavate top of your cards, send a monster to graveyard, then you could add one additional monster from your graveyard to your hand. So back in the day, you would get back a Blue Eyes or a Luster Dragon, for example. Things really changed for Rush Duel when we got Legend Strike in the OCG. And this was a bonkers card, right? So many decks are running a small package, Blue Eyes, Legend Strike, Legend Magician, because you could bring it back and also get back removal for very, very cheap. Now, I don't think we'll get this card, right? I feel like they would have actually gone and announced this one over this if it was coming. However, I could easily see this coming down the line in 2 or 3 months, right? In a Rush selection box. It just feels like that kind of card that they'll give it to us early and then they'll reprint super quickly down the line. I feel like that makes a ton of sense. Also has an Overrusher, I believe, form available, so again, they can do that twice and that would all make sense, but we'll have to wait and see. So overall, the Rush box looks cool, but it's let down by being a deck build, right? Because for me, personally, these feel like selection boxes, but more free to play, right? And then selection boxes feel worse because these exist, and then these feel worse because they have a bunch of reprints in, don't really care about because I have all the cards already, and I can't do anything with them, right? It feels like this would have been a perfect product, right? For a Master Duel kind of style game, right? Like this is how things should be in a Master Duel, Rush Duel version, right? Because I can just craft the cards I want, or dismount the cards to actually work on getting these cards I want. Excited for this. This should be fun. Very excited for this. Very excited for this one. Not so excited for these cards, but we'll have to wait and see, right? Of course, it is a main box, and so gonna be a bit expensive. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we can pull the cards need soon, if I even want to go into it. I'm not sure. But also, like, you think about last year, right, with the Hero Structure deck that came out, right? That was also overshadowing the main box, and so this year, maybe, we see similar happen. And also, like, if we are waiting on Dragoon, then potentially any skill they give for this card, the Woodwork with Dark Magician, isn't going to be there for like 12 days. So we'll have to wait and see how that dynamic kind of plays out. It may be that this new Dark Magician support doesn't really work out until we get a skill, right? We don't know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But overall, very exciting news for Duel Links. Of course, again, Structure Deck still to come properly. Selection Box still to come properly. January, usually, very big one for Duel Links. It's definitely shaping up that way. Anyone, let me thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Adios.